And happy Easter morning to you all. And welcome to my channel. This is Ted the Talking Stamp Collector, and today I'm going to show you a couple of videos. As most of you probably know, the little tiny country of Bhutan, nestled up in the Himalayan mountains, which you might have seen in my video a couple of episodes back when I did a swap and research challenge. Anyways, in 2008, Bhutan issued an unusual pair of stamps that were actually CD-ROMs with videos on them. Unfortunately, I don't have them to show you right now because I gave them to a friend, but not before I had opened them and ripped the videos. And that was my sacrifice to all you collectors who might have those CDs but are loath to, ruin the mint never hinged condition of those stamps and rip them open. So I've got the videos for you to watch here. One of them is on the history of the monarchy, and the other one is about an overview of Bhutan and their harmony with nature, about their environmentalism and such. So grab some popcorn, sit back and relax, and enjoy the show. And I will see you next time.
Within the snow-capped Himalayan mountain range, among the highest mountains on earth, rests the Kingdom of Bhutan. A mystical, peaceful sanctuary steeped in a long Buddhist tradition that influences all earthly activities. Zhabdrung Ngawang Namgyal, a Lama of the Drukpa sect, is revered as the founder of Bhutan. As temporal and spiritual leader, he unified the country in the 17th century, in part by constructing a series of fortresses called dzongs. These dzongs have remained dominant features of both the landscape and life. They are impressive reminders of the success of Bhutan's dual system of governance, where the monastic body and secular leadership respect each other. The death of the Zhabdrung was followed by 200 years of civil war between rival factions, which lasted until the end of the 19th century. Then, in the heart of Bhutan, in Tongsa, another major figure rose to unify the country once again. On December 17, 1907, Ugyen Wangchuck, the Tongsa Penlop, was elected king by both the secular leadership and high lamas. With his crowning, Bhutan had formally transitioned from a theocracy to a hereditary monarchy.
His Majesty Ugyen Wangchuck was a visionary leader and a statesman. He had two major accomplishments during his reign. First, he was able to unify the country internally. And second, he was able to gain external recognition for Bhutan as a sovereign kingdom. His Majesty Ugyen Wangchuck passed away in 1926. He was then succeeded by his son, His Majesty Jigme Wangchuck. He undertook major tax reforms because he found out that the people of Bhutan were heavily burdened with lots of in-kind taxation paid to the central government. Under the reign of His Majesty Jigme Wangchuck, which ended in 1952, the people of Bhutan enjoyed peace and stability.
When the second king passed away in 1952, the kingdom was still isolated. It was the third king, His Majesty Jigme Dorji Wangchuck, who introduced Bhutan to the world. While keeping sacred Bhutan's traditions and culture, he helped pave the way for progress. He believed strongly in education for the people and established a formal public education system for the country. To this day, I have thoughts and dreams of serving His Majesty like He was present now. His Majesty worked towards his vision to serve the people and country equally and without partiality, and to maintain not only a sovereign nation but a nation of peace and happiness.
Upon the sudden and unexpected demise of His Majesty Jigme Dorje Wangchuk, the Crown Prince Jigme Singye Wangchuk, who was only 16 years of age, had to take over the reins of the kingdom.
Truly a people's king, His Majesty is well known for his development philosophy, gross national happiness. The 4 pillars of GNH are preservation and promotion of culture, environmental conservation, good governance, and economic development.
In the last years of his reign, His Majesty commanded the drafting of Bhutan's first constitution, which lays the ground for the introduction of parliamentary democracy in 2007 and 8.
I would also like our people to know that the Chöche Penlop will be enthroned as the 5th Drukgyalpo in 2008.
In an unprecedented and historic move, His Majesty the 4th King voluntarily abdicated the throne in December 2006 and transferred his responsibilities to his son, His Majesty Jigme Gyatso Namgyal Wangchuk. Within a few months after taking over as the 5th hereditary monarch, he has reached out to the poor, the needy and the disabled people in remote communities.
As for Bhutan, I think that we are very blessed. We managed, our ancestors managed to preserve and practice what they have practiced and pass on to the younger generations till now. So our 5th king is, I am sure, he is the best ruler, and we think the king of destiny.
His Majesty has empowered the youth with his words, with his policies, with his actions. He's always encouraged them to step up, to realize that the future lies in our hands and that we can make a difference.
The Bhutanese people's affection for their kings can be witnessed in every shop, home, and office. This devotion is a reflection of their gratitude and respect for the monarchy. On this historic occasion, commemorating 100 years of the Wangchuk dynasty, may every one of the 5 hereditary kings be celebrated. For each has, in his own way, guided the people of Bhutan in carrying the honor and love they hold for their country from generation to generation.
Nestled amidst the folds of the eastern Himalayan mountain range is Bhutan, a small Buddhist kingdom. Bhutan's landscape, its broad valleys and forested hillsides, provide a peaceful pastoral setting to a rich heritage and uniquely colorful and vibrant culture. Challenged by the growing pressures of modernization and urbanization, Bhutan follows an environmental strategy inspired by the Buddhist philosophy of the interconnectedness of all life.
In Bhutan, people have been living in harmony with nature for centuries. For example, many mountains, rocks, lakes, rivers are even today worshipped. By giving it a religious and cultural touch, people started giving importance to it. So that is how we have been blessed with a very pristine environment.
Water, the source of all life. The Bhutanese call it white gold. Cascading from the snow melt in the Himalayas. Nourishing the crops Bhutan's farmers will harvest and bring to market. And providing hydroelectricity, clean energy, and an important revenue source. Bhutan's vast forests are carefully managed to preserve this valuable natural resource.
How do we balance between the local needs? Farmers have to cook food and they have to use firewood. Farmers have to construct new houses. How do we ensure sustainability?
So we decided that there must be a compromise, and we should call this strategy the middle path. So that we try to do and progress and develop our country to the best for the people of Bhutan with the least damage to the natural environment in Bhutan.
We have an article dedicated to environmental protection in the Constitution. And one of the highlights of that article is Bhutan has to maintain 60% of the country under forest cover for all times to come.
Biodiversity in all its wealth makes Bhutan one of the global hotspots for environmental conservation. The subtropical flora and fauna of the southern foothills change dramatically as the terrain rises steeply to the high alpine zone where nomadic yak herders have adapted to this harsh climate. Each year, thousands of guests fly into Paro Airport, one of the highest in the world, to venture into remote areas for bird watching and trekking through deep forests, sun-dappled meadows, and across breathtaking landscapes. They come to appreciate 46 species of rhododendron, exploding with color across the hillsides.
This has all been so possible because of such wise and enlightened leaderships. The fourth king, His Majesty Jigme Singye Wangchuk, was an environmentalist at heart, and we're going to coronate our fifth king in 2008. He's a very keen wildlife photographer, and it is his political will and support which will keep Bhutan's natural environment intact.
Bhutan has 24% of globally threatened bird species, and the Royal Society for the Protection of Nature is dedicated to protecting the black-necked crane.
Traditionally, people have seen cranes coming in from the north and hovering, especially in Phobjikha, hovering down into the valley when they arrive and circle around the monastery and then land into the marsh. And from the religious and traditional or cultural point of view, there's a lot of significance there because the black-necked cranes have always been referred to as something that is heavenly.
An earthbound creature of seemingly mythological origins is Bhutan's national animal, the takin. It is believed to have been the product of a miracle performed in the 15th century by Lama Drukpa Khinle, the divine madman. A mysterious and legendary creature called the Yeti is said to inhabit the Himalayas.
For me as a folklorist, I want the Yeti to be part of our Bhutanese landscape, especially of the Himalayas, and let the mystery be. I think some things can exist in the mind.
We need every individual to realize the importance of conservation for Bhutan.
So best way to explain to them is our ultimate goal is gross national happiness. And in order to achieve that, you have to protect environment in your neighborhood. So that way, ultimate end will be we are trying to keep Bhutan green. Our aim is to keep Bhutan green for all time to come.